I'm here in San Marcos, Texas, in a park here, and I found some squirrels. Just doing some really rough sketches, gesture drawings on how they move, getting a feel for the animal. Today, I'm going to show you how I draw a squirrel. So, get out your pencils and paper and join along with me. So first we're going to pop in some basic shapes, so round shapes. And I've got a little picture at the bottom left there just to give you an idea why we're putting these shapes in. I think it helps that you're not just drawing this blind. For those who are doing the draw along with me, pop me in some shapes like that. So just circle shapes, oval shapes, just a guideline for the head, and cutting that off there at ground level, and up here getting that fluffy tail they have. So a couple of shapes there, and ovals, half ovals. Okay, now we're going to add an arm out the front here and a bit of a snout. And a little bit of a hand there. Splitting the leg up here and putting where the fluffy tummy's going to be. So you can see a lot of this on the right hand side where I have put in the finished squirrel. You can sort of see these are the construction shapes that we've popped in to get to that finished look. Put the other little leg in there. And working out where the tail's going to be. It's going to be fun putting the fluff on that tail. Now, let's work out where the eye is going to be. So it's not quite half the circle, it's about there. So I put a line in about half the circle and I put the eye to one side of it. And the ears roughly at the back here. Just strengthening up a few lines, refining a few lines. Now I sort of hope that when I put or insert the finished picture here, that it's more helpful and not so distracting. Now let's work on that eye. So it's two half circles, the top half circle a little bit bigger than the bottom one. Leaving a little bit of light up in the top bit of the eye, where the shine is. Now around the eye, they have a little light patch of skin or fur, which is not as dark as the rest of it. So I've put an eyelid at the top there. I've just run a circle around the whole thing, making it look like it's got a bit of clown makeup on. So a bit of fur out here. And same for the top of the head. My camera's having trouble focusing on that. It's focusing on my fingers. So I hope that when you sort of see me popping all this fur down and you're seeing on the right hand side of the screen, you see the finished face, you can sort of look at the face and use that as a guide to try and copy that face. But what I'm doing is showing you how I got there. I'm hoping that's sort of helpful for you who are drawing along. Now I'm just going to refine the nose a little bit. Just need a little whisker pad there. Bunch of little dots there. And fix up that mouth a little bit. I'm definitely going to get a camera too on the next one. I need 2 cameras because sometimes my hand covers up what I'm doing. Okay, a little bit of shade in the ear there. We're actually getting a lot of this close to finish. The head, and we haven't even started on the body yet. There we go. Usually when I draw, I tend to do all over. I don't tend to concentrate on one part, but well, mix and match it a little bit. I've decided to just concentrate on one part this time. Just putting in the little hands there. Got cute little hands. Well, they're very dexterous the way they pick things up and nibble on them. So what I'm doing here is I'm popping down the direction of the fur. So the fur pretty much starts at the nose, spreads all out, and then reaches a point to the back of the tail. So sometimes I find it good just to pop down a few guidelines here and there as a directional. I'll rub out some of the circles and ovals that I've done before. So it's always good just to have an eraser nearby. I don't take them out completely, I just soften them a little bit. And I'm just rendering the fur with just a lot of dashes really. Drawing in the other arm on the other side. And because that's in, it's sort of holding on to something there. It's found something to nibble on. But that other arm's mostly shadow. A little bit of shading there. So it softens it. One of the important things with fur is to working out where you're going to leave the lighter bits. So now, as I'm putting the fur in, those few little dashes I put down as directional lines, so that helps guide where I'm going to pop that. And you see that just the dashes, I'm using that to outline as well. So here on the tummy, they're really big, soft, fluffy bits. So the big, longer strokes of fur. Now I'm popping down a few more bits to guide where the flow of the fur is going to go. Okay, working on the legs here, shading that back one and just putting dashes on the front one there. And again, erasing some of those circles that I don't need. Those construction lines are not needed anymore, so get them out of the way. Now putting my pencil to the side, just to get a little bit of a grey tone there. When you put it to the side, get a nice big soft line. It's easier to press lighter, so you get a much lighter tone. It's good for shading. Now this guy is seeing down the grass, like the ones I was looking at in San Marcos, Texas. Which is really fun. We don't actually have squirrels in Australia, so to see a squirrel is something really special for an Aussie. Again, using the sort of the zigzaggy dashy line to outline the squirrel, and then softly trying to put some of these lines. I'm not pressing as hard, so I'm trying to make them a little bit more subtle, try and make them blend in with the shading I've just done. Shaded that tummy a bit. So sometimes I pop the lines down and I think they're a little bit too harsh and I want to soften them a bit, so I just shade over bits. So this is like halfway between shading and line work. If you can find that midpoint, it's great. A little bit more grass there. Okay, time to work on the feet. So I popped in a few of the toes there, but it is sitting in some grass, so you're going to see some of it obscured. Grass there. And also the grass in front of the squirrel's own shadow is going over that. Shading in the back foot to match in with the back leg. So just in front here I'm going to pop some grass there, and that's going to indicate a little bit of shade. It's going to anchor the squirrel into its environment a little bit better. See, I'm shading between some of the blades of grass. Darkening in there a bit. Now comes the fun bit where I'm going to do some swishy lines for that nice big luxurious tail. So it's getting mixed up with the grass here a little bit. I'm going to try and work out how far to put the swishes. Also got to sort of think about which bits I'm not going to put lines on. Where I don't put lines is almost as important as where I do put lines. So you've got to get a certain flow going here. You can't do these lines slowly. You've got to sort of swish them out. Gain a bit of shade there. Pressing a bit harder this time. Bits of grass coming out there. Right, now I've got to swish some lines back here to soften that shady bit. And knock some lines up, but not quite to that join there. So I'm stopping short to leave a little bit of a light patch there. And more swishy lines as the tail takes a bit of a corner and points down at the end. And you can sort of see how important it is for me to leave that light bit in the tail. Otherwise it'd just be a grey blob. So remember that when you're drawing. You don't want to cover absolutely everything in detail, otherwise you end up with a big grey blob. You gotta leave those light bits. And I think we're getting close to the end here. Almost done. If you've watched this long, thanks a lot. Maybe leave a comment. Tell me how successful this is if you've had a go at drawing it, and how helpful it is inserting the actual finished picture or bits of the finished picture during the drawing. And I'll see you in the next video. And that's my how to draw a squirrel. Why don't you check out some of my other how to draw videos. I'll see you later.